All right, to clear the air real quick before getting started, last week I stated that the Deathstroke fight in Arkham Knight put me off the series for good. I didn't play anything after that. And thanks to a lot of you, I realized that that was actually in Arkham Origins. But the point still stands. Deathstroke made me not play the rest of that game, and then I didn't even get into Knight. So yes, it put me off the series after loving the first couple. With that out of the way, we can talk some toys, right? Because I'm Robo. This here's the rewind. Something else I said that was wrong last week pertained to Boss Fight's Court of the Dead Wave 2. That consists of the Mortal Trespasser Shard, looking all fantastic. Yes, in a line that contains demons and angels and all kinds of unique, grotesque sculpting. This does come off a bit, well, it's hard to say. Pedestrian? It's a woman in very intricate armor, but as an action figure, it looks very nice. It's a very beautiful sculpt. It's a great looking action figure. But then there's the Reaper General Dimethal, looking very Reaperish. It's got the hood, it's got the skeleton. Again, it has the intricate sculpting. It's a very large figure, the scythe, and the thing I said last week was, hey, look, it's got 3 arms. That's crazy. That's when quite a few of you pointed out that there's actually 4 arms. In all honesty, I missed that little arm sticking out of the right side. So 3 arms on the, in fact, that's what I meant. I meant, hey, look, there's 3 arms on the right side. Isn't that crazy? No. I missed his strong hand, as a bunch of you said. Yes, I wish I'd thought of that joke, but I didn't. But as soon as somebody said it, yep. Memories of that movie came rushing back. Also didn't get to talk about the winged mask, which changes the feel of, I mean, of course, skull, hood, you're gonna think Reaper, especially with the scythe and everything else. But you take off the hood, you put on this mask thing with the wings, kind of a more angelic look, but dark angel. So yeah, another nice little addition. Options, changing up the look in case you want a different style on your shelf or different use, throw it somewhere else. It kind of justifies the higher price point, which is kind of cool. Shard being a smaller figure is $45. Dimethal being a larger figure is $60. So I wish more lines followed those guidelines of, you know, it's less plastic, therefore we're gonna charge you less. But not all toy lines do that. Boss Fight Studio also hit us with some new Garfield product in the form of 2 2-packs. And is it absolutely insane that we're seeing 2 different Garfellos from 2 different companies within the span of a month? If you'd asked me 4 weeks ago if this even existed, I would have said, what? A crossover between Garfield and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? But apparently it did. NECA showed off their version back at San Diego Comic-Con, and now Boss Fight has their own. And while the base designs are the same, there are 2 different styles going on. NECA's is very NECA. The biggest difference being the painted in black lines for the detail work, making it look like 2D art in 3D form. Boss Fight continues the aesthetic they started with Wave 1, just base plastics, an overall cleaner look. And really what it comes down to is the NECA goes with your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shelf, which also contains a lot of cell shading and black line work, and the Boss Fight goes with the Garfield shelf, the Garfield display, which historically is an overall more basic color palette look. Different Garfields for different displays. They have already come out and said that the swappable eyes here are compatible with Wave 1 Garfield. I do think this face plug is reused from the first one, and if not, it's dang close. But this one, the wide eyes, the teeth showing, yeah, that would look pretty sweet. So you can get this and then pick and choose which look you want on which figure. But then there's the Halloween Pirate Garfield and Odie 2-pack, and this one packs a more heavier nostalgic punch. I mean, it's already Garfield. It's already near and dear to a lot of people, but that Halloween special seems to have people picking this 2-pack over the other one, which makes sense. The other one, there's options out there, and I'm not trying to pit 2 companies against each other. It's just 2 companies making similar product at nearly the same time. So there's that. This is much more unique to Boss Fight and a more unique look. Well, ninja gear, pirate gear, yeah. It's both Garfield in costume, but I feel like a lot of more people remember this over the old TMNT crossover ad. Plus, this Odie is much more Odie than the other one. This one is just a peg leg and pirate gear. The other one is full-on turtle head. It's less recognizable. This seems more appealing to the casual toy collector that's looking for specific things to put on their shelves, like iconic or down memory lane items. And I don't think the eyes here are gonna be compatible with the Wave one because they cut off at the hat. I feel like these are specific for Pirate Garfield. Basically what it breaks down to is it's a good time to be a Garfield fan. You're getting some articulated action figures, and that's never a bad thing. But there's one more item from Boss Fight Studio that I wanted to talk about, and it's been a while since we've touched on their Strawberry Shortcake line. I think it was mentioned in an interview that they were gonna have a Cracker Barrel, I can't even get it out with a straight face, a Cracker Barrel exclusive version of Strawberry Shortcake. And I don't think I ever touched on it on the Rewind. Or maybe I did, because at the time I probably thought, quick glancing, oh, it's the same as the regular release, just less accessories. Woo! But there are some differences, a few subtle, a few not so much. Granted, most of it is the same, the face print, the overall design, but now there's dots on the red dress part, and the hair is resculpted to be more raggedy, more curly. And I'm saying that because I ventured into a Cracker Barrel and found one. Now, I don't know what made me think of this after all this time. I was on a road trip last weekend, and as I was coming back, I looked over and thought, hey, there's a Cracker Barrel. I haven't been in one of those in 20 years. Wait a second, wasn't there a... I should stop in there and see what happens. I was afraid they were gonna try to seat me, and I was like, I don't wanna eat, I just wanna look around the store. Thankfully, it was just stacked up. As soon as I walked in the door, I looked back past the Halloween stuff, boom, there was a stack of them. And this works out for me because I didn't get the first version. I don't know why. Maybe it was the hair, or maybe this seems much more my mental image of Strawberry Shortcake. I've got a link to Cracker Barrel in the description to the order page, but it says something like almost gone, 0 available, but you can click. I didn't actually click because I found it in stores, so it may be worth stopping by Cracker Barrel if you're interested in a Strawberry Shortcake. I've said a lot of words that I didn't think I'd be saying today. Oh, custard is also different from the regular release. I think in the standard version, sitting. Here, laying down. There you go. Swinging back to something that's been creeping around the Rewind for the past few weeks, the LooseCollector Crypt Bigfoot vs. Yeti Skookum was teased a few weeks back, and then a silhouette was shown, and there I hypothesized that, seems like it has a different head. It is in my scientific opinion that it has a different cranium than the rest of the line. That their shape ain't the same as the rest of them is what it broke down to. Turns out I was right. Again, it wasn't that hard to figure out. But man, seeing the actual promotional images, I like this a lot more than I thought. I mean, I already liked the base sculpt. We knew it was reusing the same body as the Bigfoot and the Yeti, which is already a big honking block of plastic that you can use to defend your home during a break-in. But man, I wasn't prepared for the color scheme. We were told it was going to be black. And I thought, well, jet black, it does have a tendency to obscure sculpt. But not here, because LooseCollector blended in some browns, some layering work, so you can see everything that's going on, while still thinking, yes, it's black fur, but you get closer, and there's tints, there's shades. It's another big, mean-looking action figure. It's another option in case you don't like the orange or the white. Now, if I were to pick a favorite, if I was, forced to pick one, I would probably go with Bigfoot because of, well, one, it's a nice looking Bigfoot, and two, the custom potential. I'm still getting an extra one of these for Alpha Flight Sasquatch. I mean, it's right there. But then behind that, Skookum and Yeti are tying for second place, or they're vying for second place. I look at the pictures of the Yeti and think horns and white and bright, and maybe I can put that next to Snowbird as another one of her forms. But man, in the dark colors, that's just as good, just as fierce. Just, which one do I want? You know what they say, it's only money. You can't take it with you. Of course, you can't take the toys with you. And it's probably better to leave money than a bunch of toys. And your kids are all like, what am I gonna do with all this crap? But another subject that keeps popping up over the past month or so is the LooseCollector Platinum Studios Rob Liefeld Extreme Universe Youngblood. These were announced a while back in render form, and then we saw some updated pictures and some test shots, and now LooseCollector has allowed me to show both figures in actual physical painted form. I think I said this during the review of the first Liefeld figures, but man, LooseCollector just knows how to nail that 90s vibe in plastic form. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the subject matter. There's the pouches, there's the color schemes, there's the names. I mean, Shaft? Come on, I'm just talking about Shaft. And then of course there's Die Hard. With his design work that doesn't make sense in the physical world and does worry me a bit in action figure form, but it's still Die Hard and it still captures that moment in time. These should be going up for pre-order at any time because now we're seeing these pictures. I'm sure we're gonna see more soon, and that always means solicitations and then the waiting game and then getting them in hand. We'll see. Speaking of comic book characters made into toy form, here is the Atom Toys Guilty Land Kane the Postman. No, it's not what you think of. This is Guilty Land. Guilty Land. Stop. Just a couple of thoughts here, since I'm not a huge Sin City guy other than the movie. I've heard good things about the Atom body, so that's exciting that they're venturing out with that as a base. But as a casual fan of Sin City, I am also looking to put a good Marv on the shelf, and between this and Mezco, there's options, and that seems to be the theme of this rewind. We talked about it a minute ago with Garfield. We'll talk about it again here in a bit with Marvel Legends. If you want color versions of Marv, I guess, with a bunch of accessories, go with the Guilty Land. If you want black and white, more of a noir comic book feel, Mezco is coming up. That's really all I got to say about it. Marv's never been really high on my list, or Kane the Postman, whatever you want to call him, but you give me the opportunity to get one, you make a good looking action figure, then maybe I do need a Marv on the shelf somewhere. Okay, toy companies, you convinced me. That brings us to an early look at this month's Medicom MAFEX pre-orders. And I say early look because I don't think these pictures were supposed to hit the net yet. Yes, they are the promo shots, but it's usually closer to the end of the month. Plus, there's just the pictures. I don't have any info. I haven't seen any pre-orders yet. So all we can do is talk about the picture. And even then, we've already talked about most of this from the Medicom exhibition from last July. Was that a few weeks ago? Yeah. Although I don't remember touching on this Black Adam gold costume. Probably because when I saw it in the case, in the pictures from overseas, I thought, well, isn't that the same Black Adam figure we already have? Yes. It is, with gold. I don't have the first one. I wasn't really interested in Black Adam. I like the look. It's just that I don't need a figure of it. But the first one just had some faded gold in the lightning bolt. This one has the bracers, the boots, the belt, much brighter golds, a lot more of it. But I think, comparing pictures, it's the exact same sculpt. It seems like they're gonna offset that by including the throne, because he was sitting in a throne at the end of the... I don't know. I don't even remember most of that movie. I just remember thinking, wow, I like that Dr. Fate. And that's pretty much my memories of Black Adam. But like I said, it does look like Black Adam. Well, it looks like The Rock as Black Adam, so there's that. I'm much more interested in the MAFEX Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. I did talk quite a bit about these during the exhibition. It's Deadpool and Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, the movie. which I already have in figure form. I have the Marvel Legends versions. I've customized a couple of the Wolverines and the Deadpools to have the claws and the gold guns. Then I have the SH Figure Arts versions that I haven't even opened up yet. I thought, well, I'm gonna do a review, and then, you know, time keeps on slipping. So why am I looking at the MAFEX? Because it's MAFEX, and them waiting to do their own figures usually means more accuracy overall, plus accessories. Well, not always accessories, but in this case, especially Deadpool, oh baby, he comes with a lot of stuff. Hell, Dogpool almost makes it worth it. So it's a 2-pack, right? And I don't think I have a Dogpool. And then for Wolverine, it's accurate to what we saw in the movie. I keep seeing people ask, well, it would have been way better with a masked head, but he didn't have the mask with sleeves. There's difference. Did you watch the movie? Of course, Deadpool has swappable arms from the elbow down. They could have made Wolverine, and some MAFEX figures are already swappable at the arm without meaning to be, right? Ah, QC joke. There could have been a masked head, but if that's the case, it would have to come with swappable bare arms, simply because that's his look in the movie. We do get a few optional heads though, with different expressions that look pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty damn happy with the Hasbro offering here, but if I were to get this to go with the MAFEX Deadpool to make them a pair, then I have to apologize for the picture quality here though. Again, these are leaks, and I guess somebody found the small picture, so that's what I'm using here. Well, we should see larger images when the official solicitations come out, whenever they may be. But I've already talked about them, so maybe we'll do a quick run by when that happens, just to have links and pre-order and prices and such. Or maybe not. Maybe there'll be more stuff to talk about. You know, like Hasbro Marvel Legends, which does seem to reveal things on a regular basis, which is not bad. Hey, I love my Marvel Legends. But this week seems to be, I was gonna say controversial, but it's more opinionated. With one set, it's the choices made for the looks, and the other set, price point. Which is not a bad thing. Hey, calm down. Opinions aren't bad. You can have arguments and such, as long as it's civil. You don't have to be dickheads about it. That's all I ask. My one rule is don't be an asshole. Because when I first saw the Amazon exclusive Extremis Iron Man and Mandarin, I thought, what the hell are you guys doing? What Mandarin is this? Come to find out, this is what the Mandarin looked like when Tony was in the Extremis armor. So it makes sense to make this a 2-pack. I remember there being an Extremis before this, and I didn't get it because it didn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece. What wave was that? I remember skipping it. I remember not having, which is one of the things that pushed me to want this, because this is updated. It may not look like on the surface, but your eyes go directly to the abs. They've added a crunch here, which a ball joint would probably make more sense because of the shapes used there, the lines. But then I also think there may be butterfly joints. Again, I don't have the first one. I have watched some reviews that say there's no butterfly joints on the first one. And looking at it, it seems this part is sculpted there. On this one, that seems to move around depending on the position of the arm. It feels like the arm slides back. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. I'm just looking at promo pics. For Mandarin, no, this is still not my preferred version, but after doing a little research, again, he wore a suit in the Extremis arc, or Shield leader, head of Shield, something. And in there, he had an old look and a young look. When he looked old, the rings were fused to his spine. So the hands here that don't have rings on the fingers is accurate to that look. But then there's the young look. Apparently he injected himself with Extremis and that's where the overall look comes from. I mean, not the overall look. He's not going out on the farm. The suit look. In fact, the cover that this figure is based on has the same longer jacket and the tie swooping to the side. Otherwise, I think this is the Matt Murdock body, which is okay because that's a solid base body when it comes to suits, especially the legs. I'm so glad they did away with Coulson and all those, because the fists that come with this set has all the rings sculpted on. So yes, at least one set of hands have the classic Mandarin ring look. Makes me think there may be another Mandarin on the way. Maybe. I mean, sculpted the hands. Can't use those for anybody else. Down the road, reuse these on a body that... I'm not going to say nobody wanted this, because that would be presumptuous. I don't speak for the community. I'm not like everybody wanted this look or this look. I wouldn't gripe about the animated look. It's unique, it's different, but I wasn't a 90s cartoon guy. Everyone's gonna hate me. If I got my preferred Mandarin, it would be Axe of Vengeance. I just like that armor, and I like the blue and the silver. It kind of adds something different to a villain, especially when he's with Red Skull and Magneto and Loki and the rest. It's kind of a bummer to be the first Mandarin we've gotten in many a year, but I don't feel like it's the last Mandarin. I feel like there's more on the way. Hopefully. But then as an early teaser for this weekend's upcoming Canada Fan Expo, they did the full reveal on Maximum Deadpool, and here we go. Right off the bat, there's the price tag, $50. Boom. Let's get that out of the way, because yes, that is a high price. Yes. Depending on what parts of this pack you like, it's not going to be worth it. And that's perfectly okay. There is some reuse to the weapons and the sheaths maybe, but otherwise this is all new. So that may ease the blow a bit for some. Yes, the overall look is the same one we got way back in the Juggernaut wave, but this is a complete upgrade. This is a completely new sculpt. The details of the costume are now part of the body. The clips, the seams between the reds and the blacks, the buckles in places, and that to me makes it completely different from the first, which was a Bucky cap body with painted lines on it. That's like saying, hey, would you like this Volkswagen Bug or would you like this Lamborghini? Now, hold up. Me personally, I would pick the Volkswagen Bug because that's the kind of guy I am. But we're also not talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollar price difference between the two choices. We're talking about $25 between a figure that came out years ago on an outdated body or a body that is made specifically for this version of Deadpool. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I prefer the Volkswagen. I already have it in the same colors as this Lamborghini. Why would I get this? And I'm with you. I am in that scenario because, ooh, like a 77 Volkswagen Beetle with a raspberry red pearl metallic, shave all the chrome off of it and the bumpers, drop the front a few inches to kind of even it out, or well, even bring it down a little bit. Pop the deck lid up for more airflow, or maybe go for an older model, oval window in the back, split window. But there's also insurance and road conditions and maintenance and upkeep. We're not talking about cars here. We're talking about toys. I do wish there was a fully unmasked head. It would be cool. Maybe some speech bubbles, maybe some stands. Yeah, I know Duke comes with a stand. We'll get to that. Hold on. But as a Deadpool, it's another Deadpool. And to some people, great, another Deadpool. But to some people, another Deadpool. Or a new collector, hey, a good Deadpool. Because, again, new sculpt, pinless limbs, which automatically makes it better, right? I mean, hey. That's the line in the sand. If it doesn't have pinless, then I ain't gonna get it. There you go, Deadpool, pinless. But as much as I love the Deadpool, I love the dupe just as much because, man, it's dupe. Something I didn't think about when this was revealed back at San Diego Comic-Con and we were all speculating as to where this would show up. I'd forgotten that the old Toy Biz dupe that came with a Deadpool was the Ecstatics dupe. This is a bit smaller, more pickle-like. It's got some texture to it, kind of lifelike. If it's lifelike as a floating green spud can be. But then there's the logo on the belly. This one has the plain X from when they first went X-Force. The other one, when they went to Ecstatics, then it had the more extravagant logo, the color with the lightning bolt coming off of it. Really, this is a different version of dupe. And I know that's a long way around for me to justify another purchase, but I was already in. It's Deadpool, it's dupe. That's where I am. But there's nothing wrong with going, hey, that is too expensive. I ain't paying that much for another Deadpool. And who the hell is dupe? Was anybody asking for dupe? Nope. Then I ain't getting it. You're wrong. Because there are people wanting dupe. Hell, I want the whole Ecstatics team now that we get another dupe. Like I said, Canada Fan Expo is happening this weekend, and I don't think the panel hits until Saturday. So I'm recording this on Friday. This goes up Saturday morning. If you're asking why I didn't talk about whatever is going to be revealed there, then it hasn't happened yet. That's how time works. Sorry. And that's all I have for this week. Or that's what I noticed this week. That's what caught my eye. That's what I liked this week. If I miss something, we'll swing back around. As always, special thanks to the Nobots and the Nobodies, the Patreon and the channel members, the wind beneath my wings. This week, Patreon got an early look at an upcoming Playday. And man, I am so proud of this figure that I painted up. In fact, I'm going to tease it right now. Somebody suggested that I get some Musou black paint, which is comparable to black 4.0 or 3.0 or whatever it's called, which is kind of expensive. And then there was another black paint that a lot of people suggested, but you can't buy it. It's specifically for one artist or something like that. So this was 20 bucks on Amazon. And when I first slapped it on, I thought, well, that's not doing much. But once it started drying and I started taking pictures, it is crazy. Sure, in person you can see the details of the figure because that's how it works, but taking pictures and video, oh, to hell with it. I'm going to show you some B-roll of it in the review booth because that's the only way to show the full effect. No video editing. This is just my standard color correction that I've been using for years and years and years. The paint is so black and dull that it just kind of absorbs light, and then I used a paint pen chrome marker for the eyes so it'll pick up a light, just reflect some back at you, and I feel like it works great. In fact, the more I look at video and pictures, the more it kind of freaks me out. I'll get into it in the next play day. I haven't had a lot of time to finish my stuff. That was just slapping black paint and then going boop, boop, and thinking, what have I done? But I've gotten quite a few things from other people, and maybe we'll go over some things I bought that doesn't get a full review. But after doing that, I'm back in the mood. I'm back in the groove, hopefully. Try to get some other customs done. Have some fun. And you know what I always say, that's the whole point. Have some fun, go out. I was about to say, do whatever you can to have some fun. Don't do whatever you can. Keep it within means, but try to have some fun. That's all I ever say. Anyway, bye.